What's going on YouTube, fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Let's get right into the story. Some people are naturally kind-hearted and giving by nature. They get a kind of joy from helping others, whether it's financially, looking out for a friend or loved one that's struggling, or helping a stranger looking for a job with their resume and pointing them in the right direction. It's refreshing to know it's still good people in this crazy world. Because as we all know, on the flip side of that, you have people that are jealous and evil-hearted. They don't want no one having what they have or more than them. And they will smile in your face, acting like they are happy for you, but really secretly plotting and wishing on your downfall. But the times we do meet individuals that have our best interests, doesn't mind looking out, showing love, putting you up on game, most individuals like that are cherished, because everyone knows those are rare traits to have nowadays. When you are a genuine person that doesn't mind looking out for people though, you have to be extra careful that people don't prey on you and take that kind heart for weakness. And when you do so much, it becomes expected, even when you don't have to. I know when someone is used to you saying yes could reveal their true colors, and depending on the situation, things can go left real fast. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it right outside of Charleston to Harleyville, South Carolina, to discuss a case of a man living 20 years rent-free that snapped when his friend gave him an eviction notice. Back in 2022, Mr. Charles Young, who friends and family called CJ, was 82 years young. The Harleyville native had accomplished a lot in life. Rewind back in his earlier years. After high school, Charles left the South for a few years to go up north and pick up a trade before returning back home. The youngest and baby boy out of 6 kids, he was always ambitious and looking for new adventures. By the early 80s, Charles knew he wanted to do 2 things in life: make people happy and be an entrepreneur. So when he decided in 83 he was going to take his trade to the Big Apple, New York City, everyone was excited for him. He had a friend who he considered more like a son, a man 20 plus years younger than him named Nathan Ziegler. Charles would often travel places on adventures and leave Nathan to look after his home in South Carolina. So when Charles told Nathan he was leaving, he broke down to his friend he was going to go start a business and he could stay at the house rent-free while he was gone. Just keep up with the minor stuff like maintenance on the yard. With that conversation, Mr. Charles left Nathan the house and headed north. He had first landed in Brooklyn, where he started CY up Whole Street, before relocating the business to Manhattan. There, it took off, attracting all kinds of customers from the city. With his hard work and southern charm, Mr. Charles had become a pillar in the community. He had great reviews, with people being happy about his service. After serving the people of New York for almost 20 years, by 2021, Mr. Charles decided at 80 plus, it was time to retire and go back home to South Carolina. He left and returned to his home in Harleyville, where Nathan had been living at for the last 20 years. The old friends reconnected, but the happy homecoming would be short-lived. Mr. Charles, being a neat business owner who paid attention to details, wanted the house to look a certain kind of way. But Nathan felt it was also his home too, since he held it down for all those years. Eventually, Mr. Charles' brother would move in, and the tension between the once friends grew. Police responded to the home multiple times after arguments that spilled out into the yard. Most of the time, they were able to calm the men down and leave. Since it was a small town with everybody knowing each other, local authorities will often remind the men they were once friends. On January 7th, 2022, it was a Friday, when Nathan and Charles both woke up and were in the house together. That morning would get off to a rough start, with Charles not liking the way the house looked, being cluttered. He started moving things around, and by this time, he had already given his old friend Nathan an eviction notice, reminding him whose home it was. Nathan definitely wasn't feeling that. The two men would argue back and forth that day, but no one paid it no mind. By that time, it was normal behavior. But this day, Nathan was a little more aggressive than usual. Mr. Charles decided it would be best to call the police and ask them to come escort Nathan off the property. While on the phone, Mr. Charles told Nathan to move something out of his way, and Nathan responded, telling the man to watch out. Before doing the 911 call, dispatch heard a man yelling, "I'm not playing with you," after a loud bang. They sent local police to the home around 11:30 a.m. When they arrived, they saw Nathan sitting in a chair in the backyard and Mr. Charles' brother, who was upset, in the house. As they looked around, they found Charles suffering from a single gunshot wound to the neck, and at 83 years old, unfortunately, he was pronounced gone on the scene. His brother stated he was in the room when he heard a boom and heard Nathan yell out, "I'm not playing with you." When police spoke to Nathan, he claimed he shot his old friend in self-defense, claiming Mr. Charles was coming at him. Police searched the area, finding the gun and a grill. After reviewing all the prior calls to the home and knowing the situation of Nathan being mad, Mr. Charles wanted him gone after 20 years. They felt the situation was a clear and calculated murder, and Nathan was taken into custody to face first-degree charges. He was held without bail until the case started making its way to trial. During court, Nathan and his attorneys were still pushing for the self-defense argument, but prosecutors claimed Nathan felt entitled to the home, and once Mr. Charles told him he had to go, he made his mind up he would take his life. It didn't take long for the jury to convict Nathan on all charges, and at 64 years old, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Rest in peace to Mr. Charles. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. 20 years rent-free, I couldn't imagine. I definitely would have been over grateful. And the crazy thing is, Mr. Charles wasn't even saying he had to leave. He just wanted Nathan to understand that was his house. On the flip side, I could see after living somewhere for 20 years alone and keeping up the property, Nathan probably felt it was just as much as his house as Mr. Charles and felt he shouldn't have to leave. But at the end, Charles was still the legal owner. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this situation. After living somewhere 20 years rent-free, but you took it as a blessing and left if you were told to, or did like Nathan and decided to buck the system, feeling like you had rights to the home as well. Let me know in the comments. And remember, we gotta succeed not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, this was a wild story. Rest in peace, Mr. Charles. To make it 83 years in life, he was in New York for years, running his own business, and nothing ever happened. Just to come home and lose your life in your own home by a friend you looked out for. Messed up situation. But yeah, y'all leave it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about it. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of Hood Tales. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.